We've received quite a bit of interest in my free to be workshop. So to that effect, beneath this video is a link that will give you a description for the workshop. And we've also included a special discount. So if that's something you would be interested in, I would invite you to click that link, and I hope that you would find the course to be quite beneficial. As you gain knowledge and insight regarding the pattern of narcissism, you'll realize that narcissists are individuals who are constantly posturing. They give a lot more attention to looking right or sounding right than actually being right. They want to have the appearance of being correct. They want to be the standard bearer for whoever happens to be in front of them. It's like, you need to be more like me. They like to remain above you. They want to be dominant. They want your deference. But actually, as you get to know them more fully, you begin also realizing these are profoundly insecure individuals. Their psychological neediness drives their engagement style, and frankly, honesty is not very high on their list of how they're going to engage with you. In healthy living, we like to be challenged by thoughts that prompt us to think about who we are and how we present ourselves and how consistent our outside is with our interior. We call that the maturation process. And when we mature, we realize it's not all about me. I want to make sure that I'm blending well and in a healthy way with other individuals. Narcissists don't like going into that space because they don't like to have to do the hard self-examination that's required. As far as they're concerned, giving the appearance of thoughtfulness, giving the appearance of togetherness is as far as they want to go. Now, to that extent, I've listed out here 5 different questions that I like to ask individuals so that it can give you an idea of where they are with respect to that posturing style of being versus the more healthy analytical style of being. Let me run through these, and as I do, I'm hoping you can see where it can cause you to think of yourself as being quite different from that individual who is not able to honestly answer these questions. Now, the first question is simply this: are you at peace with your life? Now, narcissists, if they're asked that question, they'll go straight to concrete examples. And they may say things like, well, good things have happened to me, and something happened at work, or I like the way that my house is, or I like the friends that I have, or the social activities. So yeah, I'm fine. I'm at peace with myself. And they're not able to really go into anything beyond some of the externals. You see, the truth is that every one of us, if we're honest, would say, well, there's a lot of tension that I've had in my life. Sometimes people have served me well. Other times they've disappointed. Sometimes I have strain and conflict. Sometimes my plans fall through. Sometimes they go out well. Sometimes I find myself with my own erratic emotions. So I'm kind of a mixed bag. But then in your honesty and in your growth mode, you can say, but beyond all that, I've still figured out how I can have a sense of peace in knowing that there's goodness, there's love, there's decency in my life, and I'm still able to go back into that space and make it real. You see, narcissists don't like to even go into the admission of what I just said because they tend to operate with a lot of annoyance and agitation and irritability. They have lots of what if this happened instead of that, and I just wish. And as a result, they look only at externals when you ask that question about their inner peace, but they don't really carry that internal peace as evidenced by the fact that they cannot get beyond those tensions that I just mentioned. A second question we could ask, and that is, in what ways do you generate goodwill with others? Now, narcissists might raise their hand and say, well, I can answer that question. And they may come up with a list of nice things that they've done or perhaps accomplishments. And I help around the house and I do these kind of favors. But you see, there's a self-impressed aspect that they may bring. But typically when narcissists do external things that might be nice, there's that sense that says, now you owe me. And so they look only at functional ways that they might generate goodwill. But you see, I'm not talking about just functional ways that you generate goodwill with others. What I'm talking about is down at the heart level. Are you able to go into that heart space, into that personal space, and let other individuals know when you're with me, you're with your safe person? You can talk with me about who you are and what you feel and what you need, and we can help each other find a better quality of life as we learn to coordinate one another. That's what I'm talking about when I say generating goodwill with others. Narcissists, however, have lots of criticism. And so that's not something that we're going to look at that says, oh yeah, that's goodwill. They have low levels of cooperation. They have a low sense of togetherness with other individuals, and they don't really go into that empathy space. And so when you ask them in what ways do you generate goodwill, they can't really be honest about it because they don't even know how to go into that kind of space to begin with. Now this leads to a third question, and that is, how do you make healthy adjustments when conflicts come along? Now, this is a tough one because narcissists not only do not make healthy adjustments when conflicts come along, but they add to the conflicts because they're so driven by their own agitation and irritability. They have easy anger. They don't want input from you. They're stubborn and rigid. They can be very insistent. They can be crazy defensive. And as a result, it's going to be very difficult for them to say how they make healthy adjustments. What they'll do is if they were honest, they would say, well, I try to make you different. I try to make you agree with me. When in fact, that's not something that helps conflict go better at all. Again, they're not able to go into that space that says, I want you to know me, but I want to know you too. And let's see if we can blend and harmonize. They're not able to answer that one honestly at all. A fourth question that we could ask is, how do you find meaning in your life? Now, some narcissists want to position themselves as the paragon of virtue. They want to make you think, oh, I'm a very virtuous person and I know how to find meaning. And they can give platitudes about the goodness in life and how you're supposed to be this kind of person that people can trust. But when you look further into that, their sense of meaning doesn't go down into the reality space. They're not skilled at the art of loving because you see, I can love anyone who's exactly the same as me, but the person who knows how to love and find meaning says, well, you can really see the mark of my capacity for goodness by the way that I treat people who are different from me or who I don't fully understand. Narcissists instead use people. They don't invest in other individuals and they don't really want to know how they can learn from others. It's like, well, let me just tell you what my answers are, and correctness, being right means that I have meaning, when in fact they miss that full dimension that depicts meaning from the inside out. And then a fifth question we might ask, and that is, in what ways do you celebrate another person's good fortune? Now, that's a tough one for narcissists. They may say, well, the reason I can celebrate someone else's good fortune because I caused it. I did this favor for them, or if they hang around with me, they're going to meet the right kind of people. And they may superficially say to you, way to go, when you've done something that they like. But on a deeper level, narcissists struggle with envy. When they see good fortune in you, it's like, that should have been me. How do I get in on that action? And so their envy overrides their sense of joy that they might feel on your behalf. So these are 5 questions that we could ask that would expose them as people who simply posture, but they're not able to really go down into that fuller, deeper level because that fuller capacity for answering questions such as this requires a certain amount of personal awareness and patience to think things through like, okay, that's a good question. Let me think through that very carefully as opposed to just giving you those broad platitudes. And they need to think analytically, which they tend not to do very well at all. Their false self is too in control of their personalities. Instead, narcissists are pathologically committed to making themselves look ideal. And to them, realism hurts and they don't want to go into that kind of space. Therefore, their natural instinct is to discount their own personal need for growth. It's like, I already know everything I need to know. And that likewise leads them to think they are going to shun any kind of suggestion from you that suggests that they should grow a little bit more fully. They are disturbed when other individuals don't agree with their very positive assessment of themselves. And that being the case, they're more focused on blaming, and they're incapable of grappling with some of the hard questions about the meanings of life. They're just simply too emotionally immature. If you ask these questions of a 7-year-old, they don't know how to answer these kind of questions. They just want to have a good time. And that's kind of where the narcissist is. Their egotism, their hubris gets in the way, and they simply can't go into that deeper kind of analytical space. So that being the case, I hope you know what you're dealing with, and you're going to just need to cease the effort to try to make them think in ways that they're simply not willing to go into. But in the meantime, I'm hoping you can think, well, I'm always open to challenging questions like this that are going to lead to my own personal improvement. And as I see the narcissist's lack of honesty as they try to grapple with such questions, it's going to serve as a reminder to me that I need to and I want to be the kind of person that likes to think intuitively so that I can find the healthy alternatives in life. Now, this gives you a good idea of what you're dealing with. If you've not already hit that subscribe button, I would encourage you to do so. We're going to keep more videos coming in your direction. I think I may ask one more bonus question, and that is, does your dog stay on the blanket the whole time that you're speaking to someone else? It worked today. So the answer today is yes. Other days it doesn't necessarily happen. Anyway, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do so. We're going to keep more videos. Gus and I will, and hopefully it'll be part of your growth trajectory. If you have a need for therapy, and many times if you are that intuitive kind of person, it can be good to get with somebody who can help you sift these things through so that you know how best and wisely to respond to that and the internal chaos that sometimes can create in you. I've been sponsored for years by the people at BetterHelp.com. There's a link below that will take you to their website, and it can be so helpful to have somebody that truly wants to get you and know you and help you figure out where you're going to go in the future. So please, as the need is there, get the help that would be beneficial to you. Like I said, the link is below. In addition, we have my courses, like signing up for online classes, and they're on my website. Each course has at least 30 or about 25 or more videos, and each video has written documentation that goes along with it, along with guided questions. We have Ready, Set, Connect about making healthy connections with people. This is me about establishing your boundaries with other individuals, free to be, finding yourself despite those controllers. We also have my webinars that are presented a bit differently, in addition to many articles, my podcasts that are available there and accessible on the website, along with my books, plenty of resources. I hope indeed that you are the kind of person that says, well, I like answering those kind of questions, and I want to take the time to think them through very carefully, as opposed to the narcissist that says, as long as I've postured myself in a good way, I'm good. Let's go deeper than that. We can do that and find richness in our lives as a result of that. When you're able to do that, I'm hoping it can take you to a place of that true sense of peace and meaning that I'm talking about. And in doing so, it gives you a steadiness to draw from that narcissist, unfortunately, will not join you with. But I truly do hope that you find that sense of personal peace.